Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Alt Tabbed here on the Eternal Alt. We are back in Final Fantasy XIV today. Definitely ready to go ahead and start moving on. You don't know this, but it's been several days since I've gotten to actually record anything. I just sometimes have a lot of things going on at work, and this last couple of weeks at work have been that. And so I am ready to go ahead and kind of move on a little bit with the storyline. Now, you may notice the character looks quite a bit different. She's in a totally different outfit, and that's because we're going to kind of change something up here. I am going to be playing from this point as a bard. Well, as a bard, yeah. I was going to say archer, but bard. And so, yes, we will be playing as a bard. I just don't want to tank. I frankly have zero interest in tanking. And so we are going to carry on from this perspective. I'd been working on a Lancer alongside just to kind of pick up like the small quests around, and I just never could get the feel for Lancer. I just didn't enjoy it. And so I popped over, did a bard or did an archer, and I was kind of liking it. And so I went ahead, took all the way to make her a bard, and so we are caught up same level as we were as a caught up as the same level as we were as a warrior. In fact, I still have the warrior right there. I'm just not intending on using it at this point, at least for a while. We might, come back to it at another point, but right now we're gonna jump on and continue as a bard. So we have got probably a handful of things that need to be done in this episode. Playing MMOs, as you well know, is not all just following storylines and things like that. But we do have that to do. I should be playing plenty long enough for us to do the drawing too at the casino at the Gold Saucer. And that'll probably be the point where I'll end it, is after we've done the Gold Saucer and see if I've won anything in the weekly drawing there. All right, let me go ahead and pull up first impressions. And so here we are, ready to move on. Map on that takes me to Hawthorne Hut. I've still got a few of these teleport tickets left. I'm going to use it since that's a very expensive teleport there. We have got a little bit of money. I got about 300,000 set aside at the moment. Basically, the way it's all kind of working is that, whoops, can't go through there. Basically, the way it's kind of worked out is I've been doing a lot of like the crafting, the gathering, and stuff like that. Just when I've had a little bit of time to play, that's kind of what I've been working on, because it just hasn't been really enough time to do much of anything else. I need stuff I could do where I could just kind of deadhead it and didn't really have to think about it. All right, the Curious Tussock. And then we gotta slay this thing. Alright, drop him. Oh, I forgot to switch to healer. Alright, then back over here. Not a very difficult thing to do. I basically just went ahead and got back to the same level I was at. That way everything stays somewhat equal. And this is, of course, one of the things about Final Fantasy XIV that you'll appreciate, is that it's not really hard to change. If you don't like what you're doing, it's fine. Just do something else. It won't hurt you at all. Okay. Go through all this here. I'm just kind of, see, I think I can skip the cutscenes. I can. We're basically going to get sent to the sylphs, which are little fairy-like creatures you'll see shortly. Let's see, can I get through there? I can. Alright, I'll make the corner here. Ziz may attack me. Yep. I wasn't sure. Alright. Got rid of that. And then we go to the sylphs. And little fairy woodland creature things. Okay, so I got a dance for her. Look completely stupid, of course. Alright. And we hand over the letter, the milk root. Alright. Ida and Papalimo. Well, go ahead and skip through. Alright, Ida's got something. So we gotta try to earn the sylph's trust. That's the gist of what's going on here. And so we're going to dance for all the sylphs. Dun da da! Okay, over here. And dance for diplomacy. Then we're gonna go all the way over here. And dance for dyslexia. Or dyslexia. Alright. Back over here. Alright, whoops, I didn't mean to talk to her. I meant to click there on Ida. And then Papalimo. Yeah. Papalimo's got his thoughts. Alright. So now we have to go slay some enemies for them. Alright, let's get cranking here. Yeah, we'll get some shots going here. Okay, got rid of that. Let's see. Brownie brush. And of course, we're just doing all this to make friends. Go back this way. So it's sending me through here. That's where the next brownie brush is. Then I assume the gnats are up the hill at that last circle. Yep, that's what it is. Alright, get some shooting in here. Yeah, I've played Bard before, but as I was kind of going back, I've really never gotten deep into playing Bard, and so I thought this will be a good chance to kind of mess with that a bit. And if I don't just absolutely love it, at 60 I can go Dancer, and kind of work from that. I do generally enjoy Dancer, the amount that I've played it. There's a thing that's part of their they have a combination that they run as a buff and attack, and it requires you to do some let's see, it requires you to do some I better get on my cloud. Anyway, it requires you to do a button combination in the middle of it, and it kind of, it can be kind of difficult for me to get to it. The hands just don't move that well, and so I like the Dancer, but that one thing may be maybe what keeps me from playing it in more of a serious manner. Whoops. All right. And then back over to that last one. Running past the gnats and all that good stuff. I'm just going to slide between these guys, because now they don't care I'm level 31. All right. Back the other way. Okay. Now we gotta search for clues. Let's go back this way. Of course, you can see the thing up ahead. All right. All right. All right. Hit him with the big one. Get the shots off there and drop him. Alright, we knocked that one off. It's just a lot of run back and forth, fetch quest type stuff. Kind of forcing us that direction. Okay. Now we're looking for the wayward friend. Alright, back over here. Glad to be higher level. I get tired of fighting small enemies that can't really do a whole lot to me. And back that way. So yeah, basically I've been kind of working on all my well, all the crafters I'll use in my gathering classes and stuff. And I do that basically because it makes things a lot easier on me getting started. I can craft a lot of my own stuff. I can go get all the stuff I need. Doesn't cost me a whole lot. And of course, when you start building it up and you get your retainers going, they can be, going and gather for you while you're, making money, doing everything, while you're making money off of them with their gathering and such. All right, Claxio. Okay, what do we got? Meddling one is back. Uh-oh. Touched ones. Alright, here we go. I'm basically just going to AoE my way through it. Drop the hammer there. Alright. Dropped her. Let's see if we can. Oh, I just forgot I can poison too. One thing I do like is being able to shoot from a distance. If you noticed, I ran back into that area of effect, but it's okay to do that once you've... There we go. See him running. It's okay to do that once the attack is started, because at that point you've already dodged the attack, quote unquote. And now Claxio's decided, yeah, maybe we're okay. Okay. Back to Camuxio. I'm going to tell you, the names in this game are really hard to read. It's like somebody just said, hey, let's just slap some letters down and see what it looks like. Alright, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Okay. Quest complete. And we're just kind of burning through it. My game plan is to see how far I can get. Alright, so the Adder's Nest, which is in Gridania. And here we are. Still quite a few people out. I mean, it's a Saturday night, and so I imagine there's a lot of people usually going to be on. But Gridania is usually not one of the, you know, it's usually Limsa that's the overpopulated city. Not used to Gridania being quite that busy, but this is one of the older servers with a lot of history and a lot of people. Okay. So Bent Branch Meadows. Alright, we'll spend some cash. I got it. I got it to spend. Alright. And now, gotta go to Erskine's Druthers. This is the part that gets kind of annoying, because you're trying to do this, but you're not being sent just like across that map. You're having to go to a whole nother map. So unless you're going to use, unless you're going to use the crystals to your advantage, I mean, you're going to run a lot, which is just crazy to me. See, yeah, some enemies in here that would hit me if they can get to me. I'm just going to keep moving. And Buscarons or Buscarons, or however you want to say it's Druthers. And of course, we're looking for info. Got a splashing on him. He's yeah. We've ended the fight. Back in here. Okay. So now we gotta go back to Hawker's Alley. Let's see, I can do that for free going through the return crystal. Okay. We'll head this way. Oh, wait a minute. I can Peloton, I can speed up just a little bit. Alright, back the other way. And deliver the chicken egg. There you go. Hope you have a great omelet. Alright, so we've done that. Now it's going to send us to speak with Weinberg. Whoops. Oh, it's sending me to... Yeah, send me to airport. Let me go back down here. Cheaper going through the ferry skipper. All right. Let's see. Oh, there he is. It's Holdfoot. All right, Upper Lanicea it is. And we'll just have to drive our way there. If you notice the cloud, that was one of the things I bought. So I really haven't talked about, you know, the in the Eternal Alt way of playing, you know, spending money. What do I do? So I put about, because to me it just seems like it's reasonable, I put about $100 a month into games. And so that has to cover my fees, my sub fees. So if I want to sub to a game, then it has to come out of that 100. If I want to buy some kind of a battle pass, or if I want to buy a like that kind of thing, or if I want to buy some kind of a cosmetic, that's something again that has to fit in under that amount of money. And so far that's worked for me pretty well. When I was playing DCUO full time, I didn't really set any kind of budget. I just did whatever I wanted to, and so that did make things a little difficult, because I spent a ton of money on DCUO, and doing it this way is kind of like my way of kind of guarding against that. What the heck? Kobold footman on parade. Wow. Okay. Anyway. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to remember how to get around over here. Well, if I can get off that. And then do I come around maybe? Right, that goes back and then around behind. I think that's right. There we go. Now we're cooking. All right. Let's get over here. Poof, he's done for. Oh, what the heck. Let's take you both at the same time. One thing about Bard that does take some getting used to is some of your attacks are basically RNG. Well, it's not basically, they are RNG. Crap, got paralysis on. So anyway, two of your best attacks, you know, one of your AoE and one of your single target are RNG attacks, and so you fire the first attack, and then you hope that the RNG gods smile upon you and give you the use of the next attack, because that's where you get a lot of your damage in, and so that's one reason. You know, there's always good and bad. You know, there's always good reasons to play one or the other in the classes, and people tend to find things they really like. Most folks end up playing everything eventually, but they have that one class they go back to. And I have really, you know, other than maybe Reaper, I have really never found that class, you know. Okay, so... Oh, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of the area. That's not normal. It's a setting I did that I probably need to go back and change, but I don't really ever think about it. Alright, back over here. I'll just pay the money. It'll be alright. I got it. I got it to spend. When I finally get my retainers up to where they can start gathering some of the really, really good stuff, then it'll be... Oh yeah, at that point I'll be making some serious cash in the game. At that point, I don't know that I'll need the crafters quite as much. Knowing me, I'll still keep up the crafting just because, but, you know, it's so much easier if you can craft stuff yourself than it is to just have to go try to buy it off the market and spend the money, and, you know, because then you got to make the money to spend the money. All right. Nothing there good to me. I mean, part of the reason why is because I've crafted, part of the reason why I don't need the gear that I'm picking up is because I've crafted almost everything I've got. You know, all these three right here, these two are ones I picked up from other things. But, yeah, that's part of the reason why I don't need gear ups quite as often, is because I end up just crafting my own gear. Which, as I close in on 35, that's what I'll eventually end up going ahead and doing some more crafting. Alright, what we got going on here? Nothing. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm still not high enough level to avoid that yet. Alright. I'm also a little behind the 8 ball because I do need to be I do need to go ahead and do the golden saucer stuff. So there's a weekly lottery, and you play your numbers, and I play the same numbers every week. It's basically I play birthdays of family members, and so I do that. And so I play those every week, and so every week you come back and you get to see, you know, if you won. Now the grand prize, if you happen to pick the drawn number, is 1 million of the tokens you use in the gold saucer, which is a lot, which would honestly be just awesome because I would be coming out with some really cool stuff. But I have only ever gotten second or third prize, or no, third or fourth prize. There's like a prize that you get just for playing, which one of those covers one of the 3 tickets you're allowed to buy, easily covers it. And so most of the time I just end up with the consolation prize. Okay, let me see up there. So I end up with the consolation prize. I have a couple of times gotten the 4th place, I believe it is, which is a little bit better payout, and I got the 3rd place one time. And so, you know, I don't end up ever really, you know, I don't ever really end up getting a lot of stuff. I usually end up having to play the mini Kakapot, which is basically a scratch-off card that you buy with the points that you get in the gold saucer. And if you're wondering, there is no way to spend real money on the gold saucer. Even if you could find some way to buy gil in the game, you can only buy up to 500 of the gold saucer tokens, and you can only buy those if you have less than 500. And so if you had 400 gold saucer tokens, you could only buy 100. So obviously if you got 1,000, you can't buy any. And so there's no way to actually spend real money to go gambling, and they made darn sure of that. It's impossible to do. Okay. He's talking about traders. So we gotta go speak to Laurentis. Whoops, where are you? I also want to do something too in this, which is run a duty. Oh, there he is. He's hiding. Of course. Paying zero attention and get attacked. Alright. Let's see, where you at? Where you at, dude? Where you at? Oh, there he is. I'm just gonna go ahead because I'm gonna have to fight him anyway. Get that switch fast enough where I can use it. Alright, knocking them off. Is there another one? Nope. Okay, just him. You? Yes. Third cohort. Alright, dude. Now he runs off. Now he's just annoying me. Alright, dropped him. Funnily enough, that's the guy that's the trainer to teach you Bard. Okay. 27 is the top out, so shouldn't be a problem. Alright. And of course, he brings in the Garleans. The Garleans are the big bad at the moment. There's a lot of big bads, but they're the ones we know of. Alright, let's see. Let's get turned into an area. There we go. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to get to where I can hit everybody at once. Come on. Alright, let's see. You, sir. Alright. Let's get turned to where I can hit them all. Let's see. I think I probably need to knock this guy off. And we're not having any problems. One of the things too that's great about being a archer, bard, whatever, is you get some really good AoE that you can use from a distance. The only other one that's just that good is really Machinist. And I could play Machinist. It's an interesting class, but it doesn't really do anything except attack. It doesn't have any kind of health other than the most basic. Come on. There we go. It doesn't have anything except the most basic things, which is basically like having Peloton so you can speed everybody up. It doesn't really have anything to help the party out. Whereas Bard, I can buff and things like that. And Dancer, one of the reasons I'm kind of considering taking that shot at Dancer again is because they kind of are a little bit of a hybrid. They say, you know, they're set up as a let me get turned. They're set up as a regular range DPS. Now, they do get an AoE effect, but it's only up close. And so, you know, they kind of do both. Let's see. Into the Be Small. Alright, we're going to have to... I think this sends us into the... we finally figured out where our dear friend is. I'm going to go ahead, because I know I'm not going to be able to just get into a regular duty fast. And the main reason for that is nobody runs regular duties unless you're doing this. Unless you're leveling characters and stuff, and so you don't typically end up getting let's see, I'd like to I hate to make y'all wait for me to do that. Have to wait on the party to form. Oh, something else I did do too, which I didn't talk about when we got back on here. I did go ahead and get up at several ranks into the Grand Company that I'm in. And the reason for that is because that gave me the ability to start selling items. Alright, there we go. Hit Peloton, and then I have to lead them in here. So there are items in here, obviously, that you get. Alright, go get them, tank. So that's the thing. I have to get too close, and I don't like it. Come on. But you get the items in here, and a lot of times they're not anything you can use or will use, and so you're able to sell them for another currency that lets you get some cool stuff. And so that's, you know, I wanted to be able to get that done. Not to mention, I don't know if you remember from the last episode, but down here in the inventory section, like, that was pretty much all green. And that's because that was all items that I could not wear and was just basically waiting until I could start selling them. Alright, so we can get aggro and then start shooting again. Alright, get up there. Stick with a closer one. Getting a little luck there. Looks like I'm not quite hitting. Take that one out. Alright, knocked out that group, and then we go into the first little chamber here. Get close enough. Come on, tank, go get them. I guess if there was such a thing as an advantage on this to using the NPC party, it's probably that they don't run way too far ahead and stuff like that. So sometimes you'll have a tank that'll come in here and they kind of forget that, hey, their healer probably doesn't, their healer doesn't have like all the capabilities they would have at level 100, and they start, just going ham in there, taking up all the enemies, and the next thing you know, they're dead because the healer didn't have near enough to keep them alive. Come on. Let's see. We're getting there. Knocking them out pretty easy. Anything in here worth taking? No. So far I haven't seen any. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so far I haven't seen any treasure chests off to the side or anything. That's one of the things about running with some of the players. They don't like to stop for treasure chests and stuff like that. They're running duties and just trying to get through it all as fast as they can. Let's see, still got 20 seconds on my poison. And all you can really do is just sit here and keep attacking. Okay. Level up. Got arm's length. Nothing I'm all that excited about. Oh, wait a minute. Treasure coffer. I'm sitting there talking about they don't like to stop for treasure, and I was about to walk off without something myself. I'll let them take that on. And then we'll get into the fight. Quick knock is so easy to use. And then going down into wide volley. Okay. Knocked all that off. Oh. Prison puddings. kind of just firing between them makes it a little easier. Make sure you're targeting the guy on the far end. That'll make it much easier to hit all of them with the shot. Okay. Alright. Slapping through them pretty easy. Basically, any AoE attack is better than running singles against an enemy or series of enemies. Where did I come through? Is that there to there? Yeah. Kind of mainly trying to keep an eye out to see if I get a treasure chest anywhere. Almost got him. Alright. Drop that one. Next. It's already a 12. It's so difficult with some of this because you really want to go super far. But when time's limited, you have to do what you have to do. Okay. And dropping them. Alright, that'll send us in against our next little mini boss. Obviously, there's several different pieces to this place. Alright. Come on. Knocking them off. I'm kind of watching my party's health and everything. So far they're not having any trouble, so I'm going to keep going. Come on. Alright, knocking them off. Treasure coffer. And so, in these, if you have time, when you're in these, you can pull up and see if anything is better than what you're using. Brigand's gloves are better. Typically, I mean, these are 25, and I did make them, so they're obviously the high quality. But magical stuff is usually still always better. It just is what it is. So yeah, I'll take the little bit of extra. Okay. Okay. Boom. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. All right. Go get him, tank. Come on. Heading through. All right, we're getting close to the end. All right. Well, I hit the... There we go. I was a little off kilter, but it worked out. Another treasure coffer here. Gladiator arms. Those are fun ones to pick up because when you pick those up, you end up getting 2 for the price of 1 on an item. Good in there. There we go. Come on, tank, go get him. Alright, let's see. Alright, we are at the end. Every time you get that mapping the realm thing, that means you're at the end of the area. Of course, we're looking for one sylph. And who do we find?
Darkness.
But the robed guy. And of course he's gonna... And of course we'll move on. Alright, so he basically turned one of the spiders into that. See if we can get this guy down quick. He'll end up doing some stuff we'll have to dodge and all that. They do a pretty good job of ramping up the difficulty. But, I have to say the general average raids are not that difficult. Come on. Come on. We basically don't have much to work with here, and so that's why I'm kind of just swinging away. See, fire away. All right, knocked him out. Okay, and there we have it. Ooh, Elmlord's Tusk. Alright, so we're going to leave, and then it's going to start another cutscene, which we're basically going to dodge there. So basically there's the sylph. Sylph comes down. We return the sylph, and all is well. Alright, let's get back on the cloud. I'm trying to figure out if I've got enough time to run a duty. Yep, nothing really still all that good. But we did pick up some stuff. Brigand's leggings are better. Aha, finally I was able to put that on. Do I want... Man, that's a tough question. Do I want to... utilize that or not? I don't think I do. I think I want to turn some of that stuff in. Alright, so little Silas is over here at the Hawthorne Hut. Okay. Alright. And we'll fly our way over there. Alright, stick with that. And then back over to Coximo. Yes, yes, yes. Fetching the older one. Okay. So now they're teaching me another little thing here called the lookout. Whoops. And now we're going to look out. And there they all are. A bunch of tush sylph, which we obviously knew. And of course, that takes us back to Gridania. Make sure you're making a little money in the game. You're going to need it for the teleport crystals. The Aethernet is expensive. All right. We're getting there. It's gonna give me more Vesper Bay Aetheryte tickets. All right. All right. So now we're gonna go back to Menphilia. Let's see, that would be, oh, you can just hit the button and that would work fine. Turn to Tartaru. Okay. Oops, get up there. Hi, Tartaru. Then she sends me to the solar. Alphino. Alphino is another scion. Him and his sister. It takes them a while to kind of really get deep into the scions and into the storyline. It takes them a little bit to kind of get in there, but then Alphino becomes a huge part of the story. Okay, back from the wood. And of course, so you find out that those robed figures are Ascians, and they're magical beings who want to resurrect their long dead evil bad guy lord. Saying goodnight to the guild master there. Okay, Hall of Flames. I might as well just go ahead and pull up Uda. I've decided I'm just going to go ahead and push as far as I can before we get to 9 o'clock, because I want to get as far into the storyline as I can. It kind of feels like a catch-22 because Final Fantasy XIV is more of an RPG MMO than an MMO RPG. And so while while I'm avoiding giving you story really for multiple reasons, I could obviously give you story. If you didn't want to watch it, you didn't have to watch the story. But also, because I'm playing this in playthrough format, if I was to sit there and watch cutscenes, well, I mean, some of these, hour and a half videos, 30, 40 minutes of it would be watching cutscenes, and I'm like, don't know how interested anybody would actually be in watching cutscenes. Now, there will be, at some point in time, I'm going to do, there's a Manderville, Mandervilles are big in the world, but there's one Manderville who fancies himself a detective, and he has got a storyline, and we will be watching the cutscenes in that one, just because the whole purpose of me doing that storyline will just be for the laughs, because there's some corny stuff that goes on in there, and there's some stuff you're going to go, whatever, but there are also some legitimately hilarious moments in the Manderville quest, and so I am definitely going to play through that at some point in time, but that will be after we've gotten through a lot of storyline, and I'm just, at that point starting to kind of get bored of running story, running the main quest line. And so let's see, we're doing that, and then we gotta go talk to one more person, the impassive merchant. And I am keeping my eye on the time. We'll go with just a couple minutes left to go. At some point in time, I may have to move on story with this without recording it. I don't know. I don't really want to do that. If I had to, I would, but I kind of want to carry you along. But considering the fact that I'm not really showing the story, I don't know that it would matter. But it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a strange catch-22, because you feel like you need to be doing something, but then again, if you do that, you know that you're not going to be showing people the game. You're going to be watching cutscenes, so it's kind of a strange thing. Also, let me know, guys, I've been kind of thinking a couple days ago, you got to see my first playthrough of Forever. I kind of waffled on what I was going to do in that, but I do think I am going to be playing. I'll play all the classes to start, so each first episode, the first 4 episodes will be me trying out the 4 classes, and then I'll pick one to carry on the game with. Just to me, that sounds reasonable. Alright, dropped them. Let's see. So I did that. Alright, let's get back to... There's a brass blade heading that way. Oh, I do need to go back to, I didn't think about it, but I do need to go back. All this stuff here, I need to trade in, basically. I'm so close to 35, I think I'm just going to end up and of going ahead and crafting some gear. And I might do some of that while y'all are with me. I haven't really shown crafting at all. Don't know how interested you are in that. Some people don't like crafting in games, period. And you can, if you're willing to do the gathering and stuff, you can make enough money where you don't have to craft. It's just very expensive. Alright, let's see. Now we're going to go to Little Amigo. Actually, thinking. We'll go ahead and knock this one off. And then I'll go back. Okay. Pick up. See what he's going to want me to do. Skip cutscenes, so the master villains are talking about that. The Asians. Go back over here and pick this part up. If you ever forget to do this, the main scenario quest will take you. If you ever forget to pick one of these up, I have done that before and then been like, wait a minute, what do I do? But if you ever forget, you can always go up here. Your current main scenario quest is always in the top left, and all you gotta do is select on it. Okay. We're gonna deliver tea to the lookouts. Oh, are they outside? I think they are outside. Yep. Yep, got to go down here and turn it in. So I'm going to deliver the tea to the lookouts, and then we're going to go back, turn in all that stuff to the company. We'll turn the stuff into the Grand Company for the seals, and then I will go look and see about crafting some more gear, because, like I said, I'm about to be 35 pretty soon. Maybe before we get to do that, and I would like to upgrade to another set. Oops. Alright. Pick that up. Back over here. Man, I will be so happy when I get past the first part and I can fly in a Realm Reborn. I wish there was a way to buy a token or a ticket where it didn't take away the storyline, but gave you all the all the little goodies you get as you're going. Like, I don't care that I have to fly and all, or have to travel around at all, but I really wish I could fly doing it. Alright, so that's going to have to take me back to Benfilia, so we know where we're going on our next one. We're going to go back to the lower decks. We got roughly 20 minutes, which should be enough time. Look at all these folks here doing their thing, crafting. Sometimes you'll be out here and you'll see bards in this can play music. And so sometimes you'll see them out here. There are actually companies that they're all kind of musically inclined. And so they will end up, they will choreograph a show for all of them to be playing. And it's pretty cool. All right, so these are called supply and provisioning missions. This is how I leveled up my gathering and crafting classes to where they're at. Basically, it was the It's the fast way to do it. Just making one item and getting there. And then, of course, here you get all this stuff. We are doing expert delivery, which is just turning in this gear here. Right there, and we get some seals. All right, so we are going to go and look at our leather worker. And let's see what we can come up with. So this is a mini game. That's literally what this is. And so I am going to be playing the mini game to try to make better gear. I would like to get to level 35 stuff. So like that right there. So I need boar leather, outer goat leather, and steel rivets. Now in my Chocobo saddlebag, I keep some of this stuff. So I need 2 boar leather. And I'm going to have to make some more boar leather, I know. Outer goat leather, I got a little bit more of that. Steel rivets, on the other hand, I do not have. And so, this is why you want to be able to craft. I go to my blacksmith. And I scroll down until I find, maybe on a previous one. Yep, steel rivets. And so all I need is a little steel, which I have already made some. And so I will remove one from saddlebag. There's a little bit of a glitch where if you go remove from the saddlebag, they don't always... Where's my... Did I not put... Huh. Apparently I did not. Okay. So what I did right here is waste not. So it reduces loss of durability. You're playing a game up here versus this. So when you do an action, it removes a bar of durability. I used this to half that. So I can use 2 actions for the cost of 1. Now, I'm doing that off of my CP. That's my mana for crafting. And so my next 4 moves are cut in half on expense. And now from here, I can hit Veneration, which increases Synthesis, which is what you use to actually craft the item. And so what I have done is I've used touches to increase the quality of the item all the way up to 100. Increasing the quality to 100 guarantees that your item will be a high quality item. Now, why do you want high quality items, you may ask? Well, that is because when we get over here, you will see as I add high quality items, it raises the quality bar here. And so I start halfway done in the next item. So with the fingerless gloves, we'll synthesize. I will waste not to half the durability loss. And you see I get more up here. But I'm using the synthesis here, so much like in other parts of the game, you use the first one and then it brings up a combo action, a basic touch. And poof, there I have it. Now, if this was a really hard item for me to craft, I would go ahead and waste not again, but I don't really need to. I'm just going to hit Veneration. And then synthesize. Probably will take a couple. And there you have it. So now I have a pair of 35 fingerless boar skin gloves. And so that's one item that I'll be able to put on my character. Let's see what else we need. Boar skin Krakau's. So, all right, this one I'm going to have, I think, most everything. Except for rubber. I never have rubber on me. I should just keep rubber on me, but I never have it. Remove some saddlebag. One of those. Steel ingot. Hippogriff sinew. I've got some of that. You get that from killing enemies. And boar leather. I'll have to craft some boar leather, and I'm going to need rubber because obviously I do not have any. So there's a couple ways to get it. if you're an alchemist, I think alchemists are the ones that craft it. I don't like doing alchemy. And so, yeah, to me, it's almost impossible to do them all. I say that, or you can go over here to this, to the market and buy it. I believe, if I recall, whoops, wrong side. If I recall, I think it's just for sale with the Tradecraft supplier here, and so I can get a cheap one. And then I'll be able to craft the next piece. Obviously, being into boar skins right now, it's just I'll have to keep crafting what I need. Rubber. So I've got that. And then just most people just kind of drop down wherever and start crafting. So now I won't be up to 50% because rubber is one of those that could be high quality, but I didn't have it, so we'll just get by. All right, let's see. So I'm doing that. Now, if you'll notice, like right here, good gives you the increased quality changes when you have good, and there's also excellent. So you have two choices when you have this happen. You can, if you're running low on crafting points and they're going to need more, you can use tricks of the trade to get 20 crafting points back. But you get those 20 crafting points and then the condition goes back to a normal or poor condition. Poor really doesn't mean anything, but it goes back to one of those conditions. And then at that point you lose what you could get, which is your increases to quality going up. So besides getting that extra 0.5% of quality, I also am getting the plus 25% here on the efficiency, and so it makes the bar go up a little bit easier. So we're going to veneration here. I really don't have to have veneration. There's plenty of room. I just get in the habit of doing it. All right, so there goes another one. So the boarskin Krakau's are on. All right, let's see. What else? So the wristbands for bracelets are 37. I don't really want to get... I don't want to get past the 35. 33 there wouldn't be terrible. Let's go see. So this is where it gets, you get some options, because tailors, weavers, also can create some of the same items, similar, well, not the same obviously, but similar. So right there, I can create the linen bandana, Disciple of War. Disciple of War linen shirt. Huh. Did not know that I had that. Let me go check and see what I actually have. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot I got that there. Let me go see what I actually have. I may be crafting some of this for no good reason. I bet I crafted that for a quest. I would be willing to bet. So I'm going to need some undyed linen. And that means I'm going to have to go back over here and grab some linen yarn. I hate that because I'm going to have to grab 8, I believe. If I'm counting. Nope, 9. All right. I'll need a couple of outgoat leather. And what else? I think that's it on those. And oh, almost forgot. I'll need leggings as well. So it turns out that most of this is going to be in the crafted area. So I need 3 more, another outgoat leather. another algoat leather. Whoops. I didn't grab enough of those. And a dermite sinew. And so I'm just kind of grabbing all the stuff I'm going to need. So undyed linen, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of those. I should have enough. Yes. All right. So let me drop out of all that so it will let me actually craft all that. So first of all, we're going to have some undyed linen. Now, if you're wondering, does this get annoying punching this? Yes, it does. And I'm trying to figure out why. I bet I never did. Hang on a minute. You can create user macros. I've got several of them. Throw that on there. Alright, now let's try it again. 2 of those, and so you can create a macro that does the work for you, and you can just sit back. I typically only do this when I am like really deadheading. You can see kind of how I could get crafters and stuff up without a whole lot of effort. But basically I built a macro that allows me to just punch one button and do the work. See? Just sits there and it cranks it out. Now it does the same things every time, so if something was to happen, like if I just got like an excellent condition, when you do an excellent, you get tons of quality change. So if I did that, it would continue to run the exact same pattern. It just could have been done a little faster. But macros are not smart in that way. And so I just call it a simple craft. I'll make several of them as I get higher and higher. But see, it's going to go ahead and do 2 more. I've already got it, but it's going to go ahead and run the 2 more. Poof, poof. And then it'll go ahead and do that. Alright, 1 more I think. And we'll just sit there and let it do its thing. And we'll talk about macros and stuff. There's a lot of people, in fact I think there are forums that you can go on where people actually will have a macro for you to copy. And you can go kind of copy that and then just go do it. Alright, so we're going to scroll back down here to the linen bandana. Synthesize. Now, this obviously won't work exactly the same way. I do all my gear myself, so I don't let the computer handle my gear. I bet I can just spin a ration. I probably am not going to need much. Yep, just 2. Getting up towards 45. Alright, so I did that. Linen shirt next. And then I may, yeah, we're getting close on time. Alright, let's see. You get a 15-minute window. I just kind of wanted y'all to see what it looks like. I didn't really think about that when I started playing, when I wanted to play tonight, but when I cranked it up, I was like, oh, I got to do that. You know, it's time for this. And so I thought, well, what the heck? I'll show you what it looks like when all that happens at the Gold Saucer. It's a pretty big event. All right. And the linen Saracel, which will get me my last one. Synthesize. it also never starts exactly on time. It says 9 o'clock. You show up at 9 o'clock. Everybody's there at 9 o'clock. But when they do the drawing, it takes forever, it seems like. All right. And that one. And Sarah Sale done. All right. So now I have at least all of the regular pieces. And obviously I'll have to go back and do some other things. I'll have to go back and build some rings and necklace and all that stuff, wrist braces. But for right now, that's going to work. So let's go ahead. We'll throw all that in the armory chest. Whoops. Armory chest. Why are you... Oh. Oh. Well, I was going to say thank you, but he took off. That's one thing about this game. Somebody had a bunch of stuff, just stopped and handed it to me. I mean, it's just all these different... Maybe bat. Yeah, all these minions. I don't use minions, but... If I ever decide to get into the minion games where they fight it out, that's something I'll do. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. No, I'm not quite... Oh, wait a minute, wrong one. Let that go away. Switch to Bard. Oh, I'm close. I'm not there yet. Close, that's right. That's right. Won't be very long before I'll switch over to that one. But that did at least get you a chance to see some gatherings. So we're going to go to the gold saucer. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I don't want to spend that right now, because it's not expensive enough to burn a ticket on. There are some teleports that cost like 1,000. Okay, we're back in the gold saucer. I got enough time to go ahead and play the scratch off game. This is where I usually make the most of my saucer points. So, okay, so right here, the sum tells you how much you make. You want 6, so I am always shooting for 6. But there's obviously only one way to get that. And so I am trying to see, so like here, I could take a shot at one of these, but I know I've got 9 and 8. So if this one happens to be 7, I get 3,600, so I'm going for it. And of course it was 1. Alright, scratch off again. Ooh, 3 is in a funny spot. Nope. Okay, so right here, I've got one full set unlocked, so 12, if I was willing to take just 108, I could do that, but I want to go for a bigger total, and I ended up with a slightly better total. But what you want to try to get is one of the two top. Now, obviously, in the middle, it starts getting a little more hairy as to what you're going to get back. And some days you will come in here and get nothing. Well, you'll get the very minimum stuff. And then some days you'll knock out a couple of those 10,000 ones and be like, oh, awesome, you know. So we're going to go to the Cacapot board and be prepared. It will be busy. They're just having to load in. And so there you go. They're giving us the Cacapot. And so all the people dancing and doing their thing, and get over here where I can actually see the cashier, and I just wait. And so, yeah, it's a bunch of people. Set the wheels in motion, and then they'll do the drawing, and then we'll see how we do, which lately hadn't been very good. maybe for once, just once, I'll end up with a big win, but I seriously doubt it. The chat gets kind of funny in here too. There's usually a guy in here called the IRS agent, and he likes to talk about, paying your taxes on your winnings and stuff like that. It's funny. But I don't see him right now. He might be on vacation in real life. All right, so we get an extra 13%, which is why everybody tries to get here early. All right, I get $13.55 on the first ticket. My second one gets $13.55. Basically just the consolation prize. Oh, I got fourth prize on that one, so I got $7,700. Awesome. All right. And that right there is the Hackapot drawing. One of the things these people do during the events. One day when we're on this and we've gotten a lot more through the storyline, I may start coming back here and letting you see some of the games and stuff you can play too. There's a lot of different games. It's pretty neat. Some of the stuff that you can do. Let me get over here. Like everybody's going crazy. And so, yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. Curses the 12. Oh, there's IRS agent. See everyone next week. Same tax time, same tax channel. Sadly, nothing above 4th this week. No honor of taxation for me. Gotta love it. Everybody talks to IRS because he's always in here making it funny. Yeah. So guys, that right there is going to be this episode. We've knocked out one. Got a few things done. We'll come back in the next one and go talk to Menphilia. And then, we'll kind of continue on down that path. So guys, with that, I appreciate you watching these. I do hope you enjoy them. And if you do like it, like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And guys, I will talk to you on the next alt.